I'm Raghavi and welcome to the Above the Fold show. In this episode, we take a look at shifting political alliances in Tamil Nadu, tensions following election results in West Bengal, and developments in the Strait of Hormuz. So stay with us for the full report. Just after the Dravidian duopoly was breached post the assembly elections, Tamil Nadu politics is set for another swirl as the DMK's long-standing ally of over 2 decades, the Congress, has now broken ties to align with the newly elected Joseph Vijay's Tamizhaga Vetri Kalagam. Now, what does this rupture and the new partnership signal for Tamil Nadu's evolving power equations? We have our Deputy National Editor Srinivasa Ramani to break it down.
Vijay's Tamizhaga Vetri Kalagam made a surprise splash in the Tamil Nadu assembly elections and emerged as the single largest party, but it still fell short of reaching the simple majority mark. So what has the party done now? It has written letters to different parties who they think are ideologically closer to them and has sought support from them. What he is doing in terms of trying to reach out to alliance partners who are part of the DMK-led alliance is not out of place. He is essentially telling them that they are on the same ideological plane and he is trying to get support from the Congress, the left and the VCK in particular. The Congress has immediately jumped onto his bandwagon and has not only pledged support but also said that they are willing to have an alliance that will not only in future elections such as the local body elections but also for Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha elections. It is difficult for us to reconcile with what the Congress has done. The elections just got over a couple of days ago. The Congress was part of the DMK-led alliance and it had won 5 seats and the Congress's vote share was also vote share in contested seats was also among the lowest of all partners of the DMK. Clearly, the Congress had to rely on the DMK to shore up its numbers. The DMK is also part of the India bloc and one of the largest parties of the India bloc. The DMK-led alliance won 40 seats in the Lok Sabha. So for the Congress to not just pledge support to the TVK but also in some ways abandon the alliance is a problem. Now, they haven't spelled it out if they have cut ties with the DMK, but that is the understandable outcome. Now, whether this will result in the fraying away of the India alliance or the India bloc, we don't know. Because we have seen scenarios like, for example, what you saw in West Bengal, where the left and the Congress were opposed to the TMC and fought elections against them, but the TMC was part of the India bloc after the elections as a post-election adjustment. But all said and done, there has been a new political variable that has been introduced into Tamil Nadu politics now. The VCK and the left perhaps might still be part of the India bloc and offer outside support to the TVK. We don't know how they are going to act upon the invite from the TVK, but we have seen that the Congress has crossed the aisle, now almost come to a point where they have broken away from the alliance with respect to the DMK.
Now for the Congress, this new alliance, along with the potential role in the government of Tamil Nadu and its presence across Kerala, Karnataka and Telangana, raises the prospect of the party consolidating its influence in South India. Now, what does this mean for the party's broader growth strategy? Our associate editor Sandeep Fukan explains.
I think Congress is driven by the urgency of the situation. In Tamil Nadu, it's a hung assembly. Vijay would need 10 MLAs. Congress has 5 of them. The party's assessment is that right now it's more important to stop the AIA DMK from aligning with TVK, thereby also giving a foothold to the BJP. As far as I can see, the broader strategy is what the party has spelled out, that the mandate in Tamil Nadu is for a secular government to be formed, but they have a condition. And the condition is, in the statement the Congress has said that they would not want the TVK to do business with the proxies of the BJP. In other words, the condition is that TVK cannot tie up with the AIA-DMK because AIA-DMK has an alliance with the BJP. That's the only condition. It's a risk for sure. I mean, TVK will not have a robust organization like the DMK, and DMK and Congress have been very long-term allies. Long-term risks, yes, but one will have to wait and see how this plays out.
Up next, tensions raise in West Bengal following reports of post-poll violence. The Election Commission has stepped in, calling for an immediate action and heightened security. Here's a report.
Just a day after the election results, West Bengal saw tensions flare across parts of the state. In Kolkata's iconic New Market area on May 5th, bulldozers were seen razing multiple structures, triggering chaos on the ground. Similar scenes unfolded in Jiaganj, Murshidabad, where a decades-old Lenin statue was vandalized by a mob. The Chief Election Commissioner, Gyanesh Kumar, has ordered the immediate arrest of those involved in post-poll violence and vandalism in West Bengal. He has directed the West Bengal Chief Secretary, the DGP, the Kolkata Police Commissioner, CAPF DGs, district magistrates, and SPs to maintain continuous patrolling in sensitive areas and to immediately arrest those responsible for inciting violence and carrying out vandalism. West Bengal police said that 2 deaths and 433 arrests have been reported since the counting day on May 4th, with over 200 FIRs registered. Several party offices were also ransacked across the state. DGP Siddhnath Gupta urged people to approach the police with grievances and not take the law into their own hands. Leaders of the Trinamool Congress alleged that these were targeted attacks by Bharatiya Janata Party workers, even as videos of the incidents went viral, drawing criticism online. Initial reports suggest that a TMC New Market Union office was among the structures demolished. Mamata Banerjee had condemned the violence on May 5th, alleging that party offices were taken over and even Trinamool Bhavan and Abhishek Banerjee's office were targeted. In several videos, people with BJP flags were seen on a bulldozer chanting Jai Shri Ram and calling for demolitions, while police and central forces stood by. Soon after, traders shut shops in Kolkata's busy New Market area. TMC General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee on May 6th said that his party will form a fact-finding committee alleging widespread attacks on workers and urging Trinamool members to stay strong with full party support.
एक फैक्ट फाइंडिंग कमेटी हम लोग बनाए, जिस तरीके से हम लोगों के ऊपर टॉर्चर किया जा रहा है, जा जाके पार्टी ऑफिस तोड़े जा रहे हैं, घर में घुस के मारा जा रहा है, हर जगह पे आपने देखा है। कल रात भर हम लोगों के पार्टी वर्कर्स के ऊपर जिस तरीके से अत्याचार हुआ है, मैं सबको यही कहूंगा कि तृणमूल के जितने भी सैनिक हैं, आप एकदम स्ट्रांग रहो, पार्टी आपके साथ डट के खड़ा है और जहां तक हमें जाना पड़े हम आपके लिए जाएंगे.
However, BJP State President Samik Bhattacharya said party workers had been instructed since May 4th not to indulge in vandalism or misuse of power. These incidents come just a day after the Bharatiya Janata Party secured a sweeping victory in the West Bengal Assembly elections, ending the Trinamool Congress's 15-year rule in the state.
Moving on, Iran and the United States trade claims over Project Freedom as Washington pauses the operation amid talks. What's driving this shift? Here's our report.
Another ultimatum from US President Donald Trump. In a post on Truth Social, Trump effectively told Iran, agree to our demands and open the Strait of Hormuz, or face a higher level of bombing. On Sunday, Trump had announced Project Freedom, an initiative aimed at reopening the Strait of Hormuz and ensuring the safe transit of US ships. But barely 2 days after the effort began, he hit pause. This is Trump's latest flip-flop on Iran. It came just hours after Secretary of State Marco Rubio told the press,
we keep arguing back and forth about the war and the shooting and this and that and the other. These guys are shut down an international waterway. The Straits of Hormuz do not belong to Iran.
Meanwhile, Iran's state broadcaster said that the US's efforts were a failure and that Iran had, quote, intensified, unquote, its control over the strait. The return to the diplomatic drawing board also comes as Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi meets China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing. The May 6th meeting comes just a week before Trump is expected to meet Chinese President Xi Jinping. Despite maintaining a relatively neutral stance on the conflict, China has close ties with Iran and remains the biggest buyer of Iranian crude oil. The key question now is, could Mr. Trump feel threatened by this meeting? The Hindu's international affairs editor Stanley Johnny explains.
See, China doesn't want Iran to go down. But at the same time, China has concerns about the closure of the Strait of Hormuz because this will have a direct impact on the Chinese economy. And Iran, on the other side, wants to apprise the Chinese of its position. And its position is that it is ready to make concessions or compromise on the matter of Strait of Hormuz only if the American blockade is lifted. The Iranian position is that the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, not because the Iranians want to block the shipping traffic to the waterway, but because of the US blockade. So Iran clearly wants to let the Chinese know what their position is. So this is the dynamics between Arakchi's visit to China. And if you look at Wang Yi's statement, again, Wang Yi has called for reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, but Wang Yi also called for a comprehensive end to the war. The Chinese are very clear. They don't want to blame the Iranians. Their position is that, yes, the world is facing a major economic crisis because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, but the trigger for this crisis is not Iran, but the trigger for this crisis is the war on Iran. Who started the war? The United States and Israel started the war. So what should be the solution? The solution is a comprehensive end to the war. So just place the visit in the larger context of what is happening, because Donald Trump posted two posts today in which he was saying that in the initial post he posted the Operation Project Freedom, basically the plan to militarily reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And in the second post, Trump is saying that the Americans and the Iranians are closer to an agreement. So a lot of diplomatic parlays are happening between the United States and Iran, while at the same time, the Iranians are there in Beijing.
Let's now turn to the Hindu Roundup for some of our exclusive content. In an editorial titled Building Bridges on India's Solar Generation Battery Storage, the piece argues that India's solar power output is not as strong as it appears despite rising demand. While solar meets over 21% of peak afternoon demand, its contribution across a full day drops to about 11% and is negligible after sunset. The editorial says the problem is not a lack of sunlight or infrastructure, but inadequate storage. With limited battery capacity, large amounts of solar energy go to waste, with 2.3 terawatt-hours curtailed between May and December 2025. It warns that this results in wasted compensation and highlights the urgent need to expand storage, especially as peak summer demand rises. Tap the card above to watch the editorial on the Hindu Originals YouTube channel. In an open letter published in the Hindu, former diplomat and administrator Gopalakrishna Gandhi writes to the state's chief minister-elect Joseph Vijay. Gandhi admits that he was not among Vijay's supporters, adding that his fresh entry may signify the arrival of someone, quote, unco-opted by the corrupt crony, the cunning man. He goes on to offer Vijay 6 pointers, urging him to prioritize federal and secular values, avoid triumphalism, and work with both political colleagues and bureaucrats with openness and integrity. He also calls on Vijay to ensure clean governance, balance economic growth with environmental protection, and emerge as a voice for a hate-free and just India. In other news, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah has slammed the delay in restoring statehood, calling it deeply unfair and a breach of promise to the people. Speaking to PTI, Abdullah questioned whether Jammu and Kashmir is being punished for not electing a BJP chief minister and said that if that were the case, the centre should state it openly. He expressed acute disappointment, noting that the promise to restore statehood at the earliest has now been needlessly delayed with no clarity on what the centre means by the appropriate time. He added that nobody has been able to explain the delay. Abdullah pointed out that delimitation and elections have already been completed and his government is nearing 2 years in office. On Article 370, he said engaging the current government on its restoration would be a waste of time and tantamount to befooling people. With no timeline in sight, he said all options remain on the table. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts on today's episode in the comment section. And if you found this video useful, don't forget to share it and save the About the Fold playlist so you never miss an update.